Welcome back to ITTF World of Table Tennis. Part 2 is all about the young up-and-coming talent at the Bahrain Open. We're bringing you all the action from the German Open. And of course, we bring you up to date with the latest world rankings.
Olympic host nation for the Summer Games 2012, Great Britain prides itself on having given birth to many sports that are enjoyed by athletes worldwide. The level of success the country has enjoyed in these activities varies, and although Britain may have paved the way by laying down rules and regulations for these sports, they have invariably failed to maintain a widespread interest, resulting in poor performances at major championships. And table tennis is one of the sports, or whiff-waff as it was once called by the English upper class, that came up with this novel post-dinner activity during the 1800s, utilising a golf ball and 2 large books. The sport has certainly moved on since then, and top British players are a rarity. The last name to make headway internationally being Desmond Douglas, who managed to reach the rank of world number 7 back in the 1980s. Now, at the age of 54, Douglas is in charge of whipping many of Britain's most promising paddlers into shape, an unenviable task for many reasons.
There's so many other sports to compete with, and also in England, table tennis is mainly a social event. Only one, say maybe 2 or 3 people will play full time, so therefore nearly all the time those 3 people will get to the semis or the final. The others, unless they play full time themselves, they won't achieve that sort of success. The other problem is you're always comparing the previous people like myself or Barnes or Neil. I don't think that's sort of good, because in our time things were so different. We didn't have the computers and all the other sort of distractions that you've got today. Today it's a different generation, and the kids, I'm not too sure that they want it the same as we did. You know, you've got to have it from the heart. And only 1 or 2 people have got that drive, that desire.
Although born in Jamaica, Douglas was a proud member of the Great Britain Olympic team that travelled to the Seoul Games back in 1988, eventually finishing in joint 9th spot in the men's singles, which was won by Yoo Nam-kyu from the home nation Korea. Douglas' experience is invaluable for these young players, and he remembers the sacrifices he himself had to make to reach the top.
I can remember 77, just the end of 77 World Championships. I had quite a good World 77. The Germans saw me. They asked me if I wanted to go to play in Germany, and I had to make a big decision. Decided to play in the Bundesliga for Dusseldorf, and everything from there seemed to have got better and better. I could play full time. I could play against better players every day, and I think that helped me to become a very, very good player. I couldn't do that in England because I got to so good. I had to find somebody better than myself to play with, so I had to go outside. So that's when I decided to go to Dusseldorf. I was there for 8 years, and I had a lot of success with the club, but I also had a lot of success internationally, because I could play every day against good players, and the intensity of the practice and the training helped me to become a good player.
Douglas grew up in an England that was slowly getting used to mass immigration, and like many other West Indians in and around the major cities, he was not given an easy ride, having to fight for everything. That struggle helped him to develop a toughness that he used within his chosen sport, and it's a toughness that he believes is lacking in the current crop of talent.
Come on, concentrate. The angle, you're standing in the middle of the table. Rather than me. So that's what I'm looking for. That's your technique. That's your rhythm. That's good. Yeah. Yes. Out. Good. Good. Good.
It's a different generation, and it's just not in table tennis. It's other sports. The kids today, that they're brought up, they're sort of wrapped up in cotton wool. In our day, you have to fight for everything. It was almost like life and death. These kids, it isn't if they fail or do bad, mummy and daddy's there. They sort of put their arms around them, give them a kiss, tell them they love them. In our day, it wasn't like that. You know, you had to be brutal in the sport, but also with yourself. You had to be very hard with yourself. If you had a bad loss, you had to quickly get over it. Next game, you couldn't be thinking about it, otherwise you go crazy.
As Douglas' career moved from playing into individual coaching, he found that the game was still able to give him a thrill in his new role, and when the English Table Tennis Association asked him to move into group coaching, he was only too happy to comply.
I'm quite happy passing on to the tips to them, because the greatest joy is when you see these kids and they can't really hit 2 balls on the table, then 12 months later they're hitting 20, 30 balls, no mistake, and you see they're developing. You think, oh, that's fantastic. And I think, for me, that's the greatest joy apart from playing. Playing's the best. But to see these kids develop, I think that's fantastic. Because you can say, I played a teeny-weeny part in helping their development. And if they go on to do great things, that's fantastic. That's down to them. They achieved it, they earned it, they deserved it.
Great Britain's chances of taking a table tennis medal at the 2012 Games are at the most infinitesimal. But Douglas, like so many other people in the UK, is hoping that there will be a renewed interest in the sport thanks to the exposure it will receive on home soil. And should there be an upsurge in the number of paddlers making their way to his gym, he will be overjoyed to pass on his knowledge.